So this tweet just dropped from a developer at OpenAI, and the developer essentially built a new plugin for Claude Code. And that means that OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, just officially put their coding agent inside Anthropic's Claude Code, which is their biggest competitor's tool. But here's why this actually matters to you. So this is the part that nobody talks about. And AI can build you something that looks finished and still has bugs you would never catch. So if you're non-technical, that is the scary part. The page loads, the buttons work, and the UI looks really good, but you have no idea if there's a hidden bug in the login flow or other permissions. And that is why this plugin matters, not because it's flashy, but because it gives Claude Code a second set of eyes before you trust what it built. So here's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to show you how to install the plugin from scratch, and then I'm going to show you how it can review your code and catch bugs that Claude Code would miss. I'll then show you how it can work on a task in the background while you keep building with Claude. And then I'll also show you a hidden feature that automatically blocks Claude from shipping anything until it passes inspection. Lastly, I'll talk about one security issue that was disclosed on the same exact day the plugin was launched. So you need to know about it before you install this. So let's dive into it. So I'm going to be using my Mac terminal to access Claude Code. And again, you can also use the Claude desktop app. And if you go into Code here, you can start a conversation with Claude and then proceed in here. But for me, I just prefer using the terminal. So the first thing we're going to do is I'll help you get set up from scratch. So I'm going to open a Claude Code session, and then we'll just open this up. And the first thing to do is to run this specific command here. And what we're doing here is we're just getting the plugin from the Claude marketplace, the Codex plugin. And again, I have included these commands in a cheat sheet in my free school community. So don't worry if you don't see the commands, just join the community and you get access to them. Next thing is we'll run the plugin install Codex at OpenAI Codex command. And I've already got it installed. But then the second thing to do is, once you do this, is to reload plugins and then run Codex setup. So basically what we've done is we first add the marketplace and then we install the plugin. We then reload the plugins and then we run the setup. So if Codex is not installed yet, the setup walks you through that. And if you need to sign in, it opens the browser so you can authenticate with your OpenAI account. Okay, so I've just created a simple landing page, as you can see, with Claude Code, and it lives in this GitHub repository here. And the very first thing we're going to do now is add a contact form with this command here. Okay, add a contact form to our homepage with a name, email, and message fields. And I'm going to specify to not push these changes to GitHub for now, and I'll show you later why. So let's just click enter and wait for it to build out the contact form. So as you can see, it's now added a contact form in here with a name, email, and message field, which is exactly what we asked it to do. And now it will run this command here, git status. So you can see that it's changed this server.js file and it's not committed or pushed those changes to the GitHub repository yet. So it's only done a contact form, and let's just say that you're not really sure whether something's wrong with it or if it has bugs, and you just want to review it. So now we can run this command from our plugin, our Codex plugin that we just got from the Claude marketplace, and we'll just get Codex to review those changes that are not committed, and we'll just click enter. So essentially now Codex is just going to look at that file and see if there's anything that's a bit suspicious and to see if there's any problems that might arise. And let's just click on wait for results. So yeah, it does take some time, but keep in mind that the Codex model is more of a reasoning model, so it will take more time and it's just a bit more careful in its analysis, whereas Claude Code, it just likes to execute tasks in a very fast manner, which I guess is very good if you're building a quick proof of concept. So hence why is actually a very good combination, because essentially it's like you have a very junior developer that's just shipping out features very fast, and then you can think of Codex as your senior engineer or developer that's reviewing those changes. So again, it will slow you down, but in return you get quality code. Okay, so finally it's finished, and you can see it's cooked here for over 2 minutes. But again, in return you get a in-depth analysis of the changes that it would have committed. So let's see what it says, the review. So the new contact section looks like a working lead form, but submissions are always intercepted in the browser and never reach the server or any external service. So that makes the newly added feature broken, even though the rest of the page still renders. So yeah, obviously the form doesn't actually send data anywhere, because we've just spun it up right now on our landing page. But you get the idea that you can use this for more complex features. So yeah, basically it's just telling us that the contact form is not working, which is true because we just built it on our landing page on localhost. But you get the idea of what you can do here. So every single commit, before you actually push to GitHub, you can just get Codex to review those changes, to look for bugs, or for any security issues. So that's why it's very powerful. Okay, so the regular review checks if your code actually works, and this next command is essentially what happens when something goes wrong. So what we'll do is we'll run this command here in our Claude Code session, and this is called Adversarial Review. So this one will take a bit longer, and essentially Codex now will just look at the code with a bit of a suspicious mindset. So it will ask whether this actually works, and also where can it break. So whereas the previous command, the review command, it's just trying to figure out whether it works or not, this command is basically trying to figure out if the feature will break anything. So it will look at the entire code base, and it checks whether it will affect other components of your code base, and also if Claude Code missed anything. So it's a bit of a more in-depth analysis. Okay, so you can see here it has 2 findings, one of high priority and one of medium priority. So if we just look at the high one for a few seconds, so it basically says that the contact form acknowledges success without actually sending or storing anything. And that's just because we just set it up instantly on a landing page. So again, this I guess can be considered a bug. And again, the medium finding here, so this is a security issue, it's identified. So essentially if the JavaScript fails for any reason, the form will fall back to putting the username, email, and message directly into the URL. So that means their personal details end up in the browser history. So that is a big privacy problem. And it's also providing suggestions for next steps to address these issues. It's given us a verdict, so it needs attention. And also it's telling us to not ship. So Codex is literally saying to us that you need to address these 2 issues before you commit to GitHub. And obviously it's correct. So again, you can imagine in a more complex app why this would be very useful, and if you're just shipping very fast constantly. Okay, so what do we do if we want to fix and address these issues? Well, what we can do is just essentially copy all of this and say that I ran a Codex review on the uncommitted change. Here it is. Please address all issues and ensure everything is fixed. And then we'll just click enter. So now we're getting Claude Code to address these issues. Okay, amazing. So Claude Code has just told us that it's addressed both issues. And again, you can also run Codex review to verify, to get Codex to check again, to verify that they have actually been addressed properly. And I also want to show you a second method, which is the Codex rescue. So what if you don't want Claude Code to fix the code? Well, in that case, we can just use Codex to fix those errors. And you would do this by running a command like this, Codex, then rescue. And then you would explain the issue, like we've done with OpenClaw. you would just explain the two issues. So this is the actual workflow, and I think this is the part that most people miss, is and you want Claude to work in tandem with Codex. So Codex will find the problems, it can fix them if you like, and again, it will slow you down, it does take more time, but either way, the issues do get caught and resolved before they reach your users. So if you're non-technical, then this is huge, because you don't need to personally understand every single line of code. However, I do have to be honest, Claude Code, sometimes it does ship things, and it can be quite buggy, and Claude Code prefers to do things instantly, as opposed to doing a bit more reasoning and just taking a safer approach. So I highly recommend you use this workflow. Okay, so now for the third use case. So let's just say you've got something that you want investigated, and you don't want to stop what you're doing with Claude Code, and you want to hand this off to a second agent and keep working. And the cool thing about this one is that it can all be done in the same terminal. You don't have to open up a second terminal and have, let's say, one agent in one terminal, a second agent in the second terminal. All we have to do is just run this command here. So Codex rescue, then make sure you add the -- background, and then we'll give it a command, something to do, and then we'll just give it a task for Codex. So we'll just click enter. So what I've done right now is I just handed off that task to Codex. It's now running in the background, and I can keep working. So let's just go ahead and ask Claude Code what files are in this project, and it's going to do that whilst Codex is, okay, here we go. Oh no, that was the Codex. Okay, so you can see here Claude Code has replied, and then Codex straight after said the review is still running in the background. However, Claude Code, we know it's working because it just answered to this question, whilst Codex is still reviewing and running in the background. So this is really cool. You basically have Codex running in the background, and then you can just go forward with Claude Code. So if you've added a new feature and you want to start building a new one, what you can do is you can just get Codex to review that previous feature, and you can already start working on the new feature. So let's just do this, run Codex status, and you can see here that the previous two commands I showed you have been completed, and this one is still running, as we see under the status here. So it is still running and it's not completed. So just a quick tip that I wanted to share with everyone. Now, if you do want to save money and you want to use a cheaper, faster model with Codex, you can run this command right here, model spark. So that will just use a faster model, and it will do less reasoning, and it's a lot cheaper. So rescue, you could just think of it as a delegated specialist. So you hand Codex a job and it will work on it, and then in the meantime you just start shipping features with Claude, and when it's done you just pull in the results and you address them, just as we've done before. So it's like having two employees instead of one, and the second one is not interrupting the first one, so that's why it's very important. So the next feature is buried in the README file, and I've not seen a single other video cover this, and it's called the review gate. So right now my contact form obviously has an issue, and there's just no validation on the inputs. So someone could just submit a completely empty form and it would go through. So let's see if the review gate actually catches this. So what we'll do is we'll run this command here, codex setup -- enable -review -gate, and we'll just click on enter. And what I've done right now is I just turned on an automatic inspection feature. So now every time that Claude finishes a task, Codex has to approve it before Claude can continue. Okay, so let's now use Claude Code, and we'll just ask it to add a thank you confirmation page that the contact form redirects to after somebody submits the form. So we'll just go ahead and click enter. So whilst Claude is building a thank you page, but because we have the review gate turned on, Codex is going to inspect everything Claude touches, including the contact form handler. So you can see here, after Claude Code has finished editing the codebase, now Codex kicks in right here. And we can also see that Codex has actually caught a bug here and it's trying to fix the bug. So we can see here that this name in the form submit handler refers to the form's elements property, not the input field. So it's just gone ahead and fixed that. So both issues have been addressed. That was really cool. Okay, so you get the idea. Essentially, the builder finished. However, the inspector, Codex, essentially said no. And that is what the review gate is. So now to disable it, we can just run this command. Codex setup --disable -review -gate, and that will just permanently disable your review gate. So this is the feature that nobody really talks about. And what does it actually mean? Well, Codex has to approve every single thing Claude does. So before Claude can move on, Codex will check it first, and it's a very powerful idea. But honestly, it's also a feature that most likely is going to waste you money if you use it carelessly. Because essentially what can happen is Claude will build, Codex will reject it, and then Claude will fix it, and then Codex will find something else. So you can just get stuck in this infinite loop almost, and you're just going to waste all your usage with Codex. So even the OpenAI team themselves did say to only enable this while you're actively watching. So my recommendation is to turn it on only for important code, whether that's a login flow, payments, and also anything that's handling user data. So let Codex just catch what Claude misses and then turn it off afterwards. Don't leave it running. So this is also where I want to give people permission not to use this. So if you're building a portfolio site or a simple landing page, you probably do not need this, and just save it for bugs when it actually matters. So just keep in mind that there is a cost here and you're potentially paying for both Claude and OpenAI Codex. And if you just leave the review gates on without thinking, you can burn your usage a lot faster than you expect. So the smart way to use this is don't use it everywhere, just use it strategically. So there's one thing I don't want to skip in this video because it's where a lot of hype videos fall apart. So on the same day this plugin launched, there was also a serious security disclosure around Codex, and OpenAI did patch that very quickly, which was amazing. But the bigger lesson here is that these tools are not just chatbots. They are execution environments, and they can read your credentials, they can read your files, your commands. So if you do use tools like this, you need to act like an adult and use separate credentials for these AI workflows if you can, and limit access where it's possible. So here's my honest verdict. If you are a non-technical builder moving beyond toy projects, this is very useful. And it's not because it makes Claude obsolete, and it's not because Codex is magically better at anything. It's just because it gives you a more trustworthy and secure workflow. And the way I would use it is just very simple. Claude builds and Codex will give you a second opinion. And then Codex will pressure test the important work. And it also rescues Claude when it gets stuck. So that is really the sweet spot here. And there isn't any business drama here too. So OpenAI is clearly smart enough to realize that if people love Claude Code, then one way to win is to show up inside of Claude Code instead of waiting for everyone to switch. And that's just really strategically smart. But from your perspective, the only question that matters is whether this helps you ship safer work. And I think that the answer is yes, if you use it for the right things. And again, all the commands that I've run here, they're in a cheat sheet in my free school community. The link is in the description. So if this video helped you trust AI built code a little more, then please subscribe. And that is what this channel is for. And I'll see you in the next video.